Maya Rodriguez stared at the wet stain spreading across her scrubs. The spit was still warm. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The medication tray rattled when she set it down. 26 years in the Army, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. She'd been shot at in Fallujah, nearly killed in Ramadi. But right now, standing in this hospital hallway with a patient's spit soaking through her uniform, she felt smaller than she'd ever felt in her life. Richard Thornton's voice echoed in her head. "That's what I think of you and your kind." Maya? Oh my God. Jessica was staring. Young nurse, 24, never seen anything like this. Maya looked down. The stain was visible. Right over her name badge. Right over her heart. "Patient incident," she heard herself say. Her voice sounded far away. "I need to change." "Maya, did he?" "I'm fine." She wasn't fine. If you believe no healthcare worker should ever be spit on for trying to save a life, subscribe right now. Comment what city you're watching from. Because Maya is about to do something that changes everything, and I need to know this story reaches people who understand what it means to finally stop being quiet. The locker room was empty. Maya pulled off her scrubs. The spit had soaked through to her undershirt. She could feel it on her skin. She felt blood before. Other people's blood. Soldiers bleeding out in the Iraqi desert while she tried to save them. That was different. That was honorable. This was humiliation. She changed into spare scrubs, bagged the stained ones. Evidence. That's what they were now. Her phone buzzed. Sophia. "Mom, you okay? You usually text by now?" Maya's vision blurred. She typed back. "Long shift. Love you." She couldn't tell her daughter. Not yet. Not until she knew what she was going to do about this. Karen Mitchell was waiting in the break room. Maya's supervisor. 52, pressed blouse, professional smile that never reached her eyes. "Maya, I heard about Mr. Thornton. I'm so sorry." Maya sat down. "I'm filing a formal complaint. That was assault." The smile vanished. "Let's not use that word." "Why not? That's what it was. Mr. Thornton is elderly, heart failure. His medications might be affecting his judgment." "He wasn't confused," Maya said. "He called me illegal. Asked if I crawled across the border. Then he spit on me." Karen leaned forward, voice dropping. "Maya, I understand you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm assaulted. But we need to think about this carefully. Mr. Thornton's family are major donors. His son gave $2 million for the cardiac wing. If we make this a big deal..." Maya felt something crack inside her chest. "Are you telling me his money is worth more than me being spit on?" "That's not what I'm saying." "Then what are you saying?" Karen's jaw tightened. "I'm saying you have a good job here. Head nurse. That's not easy to come by. Don't throw it away over one difficult patient." One difficult patient. As if this was the first time. As if Maya hadn't spent 2 years being questioned, doubted, asked where she was really from. "I'm going home," Maya said. "Taking a personal day tomorrow. Maya, I'm asking you as your supervisor. Don't make waves. Don't make waves. These things have a way of backfiring. You could end up hurting yourself more than anyone else." Maya stood up. "Good night, Karen." She walked out before Karen could say anything else, made it to her car, sat in the driver's seat. Her hands were shaking again. Worse now. She gripped the steering wheel but couldn't make them stop. Her phone rang. Raphael. "Hey, Amor, checking on you. You should be home by now." She couldn't answer. Her throat was too tight. "Maya, what's wrong?" Her voice cracked. "Can you come get me?" "Where are you?" "Parking lot. I can't drive." "I'm coming. Stay there." He made it in 4 minutes. Found her still gripping the steering wheel like it was the only thing holding her together. He opened the door. Crouched down. What happened? The words came out broken. Fragments. The spit. Richard Thornton's face. Karen telling her to let it go because of money. Raphael's jaw clenched tighter with every sentence. When she finished, he said, "We're filing charges." Karen said, "I don't care what Karen said. Someone assaulted you and your supervisor told you to shut up about it? No, we're going to the police right now." "Raphael, it's 2 a.m. "I don't care if it's 4 a.m. We're filing a report before they convince you this wasn't that bad." Maya looked at her husband. at the fury in his eyes. Fury for her. He was right. If she waited, if she went home and slept on it, the voice would start. The voice that said, maybe you're overreacting, and maybe you should just let it go. Okay, she said. Let's go. They drove downtown. Charleston Police Department. Night shift officer looked surprised to see them. I need to file an assault report, Maya said. Assault? Are you injured? I'm a nurse. I was assaulted at work. A patient spit on me. The officer's expression shifted. Spit on you? Well, I was trying to give him medication. He called me illegal first. Then he spit on my uniform. Do you have the uniform? Maya held up the plastic bag, the stain visible through the plastic. Okay, the officer said. Let's get your statement. It took 40 minutes. Every detail. Time, location, witnesses, what Richard Thornton said before he spit. Did your supervisor document this? The officer asked. She told me not to make a big deal out of it. Said his family are major donors to the hospital. The officer's pen stopped. She said that? Yes. Okay. This is a valid complaint. We'll investigate. Someone will contact you. When they got home, it was almost 3 a.m. Raphael tried to get Maya to sleep. She couldn't. Too wired. Too angry. Too done. She went to her closet, pulled out the box she hadn't opened in 3 years, her army dress uniform. She laid it out on the bed, the jacket, the medals. Bronze Star with Valor, Purple Heart, Combat Medical Badge, Iraq Campaign Medal. Proof. That's what they were. Proof she'd earned her place. Proof she'd bled for this country. Proof she deserved better than being spit on. What are you doing? Raphael asked from the doorway. I'm done being quiet. What does that mean? She turned to face him. It means tomorrow I'm not just filing an HR complaint. I'm bringing witnesses. I'm making this so public they can't sweep it away. Witnesses? Who? Colonel Washington, my old commanding officer. He lives here now. Maya, it's 3 a.m. I know what time it is. She picked up her phone, found Colonel Washington's number. Her finger hovered over it. Raphael put his hand over hers. Are you sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. She dialed. 4 rings. She almost hung up. Then, Sergeant Rodriguez? Colonel James Washington's voice was rough with sleep but alert. 20 years retired, but a soldier never stops being a soldier. Sir, I'm sorry to call so late. What's wrong? She told him. Not everything. Just enough. The spit. Karen's response. The feeling that if she didn't fight now, she never would. Silence when she finished. Long enough that Maya thought he'd hung up. Then, what time tomorrow? Sir, what time do you need me there? Because you're not calling to cry on my shoulder. You're calling because you're about to do something. Maya's eyes filled with tears. 8 a.m. Charleston VA Hospital. Conference room 3B. I'll be there at 0745. Full dress uniform. Pause. Maya. Yes, sir. I've been waiting for someone to stand up to that place for years. Proud of you. After she hung up, Maya felt something shift. Not hope. Something harder. Determination. But one witness wasn't enough. She scrolled through her contacts. Found Dr. Sarah Chin, director of medicine at the VA. They weren't close. Barely knew each other beyond professional interactions. But Maya had a feeling that Dr. Chin saw things, noticed things, maybe even documented things. It was a risk. Calling a hospital director at 3 a.m. to tell her you were about to blow everything up. But Maya was done playing safe. She dialed. Dr. Chin answered on the second ring. Dr. Chin, this is Maya Rodriguez, head nurse in cardiac. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Pause. What is it? Am I crazy? Am I imagining things? Or is there really a pattern of discrimination at this hospital? The silence stretched so long, Maya thought she'd made a mistake. Then Dr. Chin said quietly, You're not crazy. Maya's heart pounded. You've seen it too? I've been documenting it for 2 years. 2 years. What? Maya breathed. Complaints from minority staff that HR ignores, promotional disparities, disciplinary actions that target people of color more than white staff. I've been waiting for the right case, the right person to go public. Why me? Because you're a decorated combat veteran. Your record is impeccable. If they can treat you like this, they can treat anyone like this. Maya closed her eyes. A patient spit on me tonight. My supervisor told me to let it go because his family are donors. She heard Dr. Chen's sharp intake of breath. What do you need? Tomorrow, 8 a.m., conference room 3B. I'm confronting administration. I need witnesses. I'll be there with documentation. Pause. Maya, thank you. Someone needed to do this. 2 witnesses. Not enough. Maya Googled civil rights attorney Charleston SC at 3:30 in the morning. Found Marcus Johnson. His website showed case after case of successful discrimination lawsuits. She called the emergency number. A paralegal answered, annoyed. This better be important. I'm a combat veteran. I was assaulted at the VA hospital tonight. I'm filing charges in the morning and I need representation. Hold on. 2 minutes. Then a man's voice. This is Marcus Johnson. Tell me everything. Maya did. Not just tonight. The past 2 years. The comments about her accent. Being passed over for promotion. The constant questions about where she was really from. When she finished, Marcus said, Can you come to my office right now? It's almost 4 a.m. I want to start building this case before they destroy evidence. Can you come? Maya looked at Raphael. He nodded. We'll be there in 20 minutes. Marcus met them at his office door. 39, jeans and a t-shirt, but eyes sharp and alert. Come in. Coffee's brewing. They sat in his conference room. Marcus asked questions, took notes, pulled up cases on his laptop. The sun started rising outside. Marcus leaned back. This is a strong case. Really strong. Decorated veteran. Clear assault. Pattern of discrimination. Employer retaliation. What do I do? You already filed a police report, which is perfect. Now we file with the hospital. Then EEOC. Then a lawsuit. But first, he looked at her. We need to make sure everyone knows what happened before they spin it. That's why I'm bringing witnesses. Good. Document everything in that meeting. Record it if you can. South Carolina is one-party consent, so you're legal. What if they fire me? Then we add retaliation to the lawsuit, and they pay even more. Marcus leaned forward. Maya, listen. You're going to win, not just because you're right, but because they can't afford to lose. Decorated combat veteran getting assaulted, and the hospital protects the assailant? That's a PR nightmare. I don't want money. I want change. Marcus smiled. You'll get both. 2 hours of questions. 2 cups of coffee. 1 verdict. They were going to war. When Maya and Raphael got home, it was 6:30 a.m. Maya had been awake for over 24 hours. She wasn't tired. She was running on something else now, something that felt like fire. She showered, put on her dress uniform, pinned on each medal, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Combat Medical, badge. Each one felt like armor. Raphael watched from the doorway. You look like you're going to war. I am. Her phone buzzed. Sophia. Mom, I'm coming home. What room? Maya's throat tightened. Her daughter somehow knew she was needed. Conference room 3B, 8 a.m. Sophia. I'll be there. Maya drove to the hospital at 7:15, hands steady on the wheel, mind clear. She set up conference room 3B, documents on the table, Sophia's phone on a tripod, recording. She arranged chairs, one at the head for her, others for her witnesses. At 7:45, Colonel Washington walked in wearing full dress uniform, more medals than Maya had, 30 years of proof. Sergeant Rodriguez. He looked at her uniform, smiled. Ready to raise some hell? Yes, sir. Good, because I've wanted to do this for a long time. At 7:55, Marcus Johnson arrived. Sharp suit, briefcase, game face on. How you feeling? He asked. Like I'm about to change my life. You are. At 8:15, Dr. Chen walked in carrying a thick folder. 2 years of documentation, she said, setting it on the table. 47 complaints, all ignored. This hospital is about to have a very bad day. At 8:05, Sophia burst through the door, saw her mother in uniform and started crying. Ran over and hugged her. You look like a warrior, Mom. I feel like one. At 8:10, Karen Mitchell walked in, saw the scene. Uniforms, lawyer, doctor, camera. Her face went white. Maya, what is this? Sit down, Karen. I don't understand. Sit. She sat. At 8:15, Robert Hayes walked in. Hospital administrator. Karen had called him, panicked. He saw everyone. His expression hardened. What's going on? Sit down, Mr. Hayes. You're going to want to be sitting for this. He sat. The room went silent, everyone looking at Maya. She stood up, felt the weight of her medals. 26 years of proof. My name is Sergeant Maya Rodriguez, United States Army, retired, combat medic, 26 years, Bronze Star with Valor, Purple Heart, 2 tours in Iraq. She paused. Let that sink in. Last night, at approximately 11:47 p.m., a patient in this hospital, Richard Thornton, room 304, called me illegal, questioned my credentials, asked if I crawled across the border. Then he spit on me. She held up the plastic bag, stain visible. This is assault. This is a crime. But it's also the culmination of 2 years of systematic discrimination that I and other minority staff have endured at this hospital. Karen tried to interrupt. Maya, if you'll get your turn. Right now you're going to listen. Karen's mouth snapped shut. When I reported this to my supervisor, she told me not to make waves. She told me Mr. Thornton's family are major donors. She told me to let it go. Maya looked at Karen. You told me not to throw away my job over one difficult patient. As if 2 years of being questioned and doubted and disrespected was nothing. As if being spit on was something I should just accept. She opened Dr. Chen's folder. Dr. Chen has documentation of 47 complaints from minority staff over 2 years. Complaints of discrimination, harassment, hostile work environment. Complaints that were filed with HR and never addressed. Dr. Chen stood. The pattern is clear and undeniable. Minority staff are held to higher standards, promoted less frequently, disciplined more harshly. This hospital has a systemic problem. Marcus Johnson stood, pulled papers from his briefcase. I'm Marcus Johnson, civil rights attorney. This morning we filed criminal charges against Richard Thornton for assault. We're also filing a federal lawsuit against Charleston VA Hospital for discrimination, hostile work environment, failure to protect staff, and retaliation. Robert Hayes' face turned red. Now wait. No, Colonel Washington said, standing. His voice filled the room. You wait. You've been waiting while good people suffered. Now it's your turn to wait while we expose everything. Maya pulled out another folder. I have more documents. My birth certificate, my immigration papers, my enlistment papers, my Bronze Star citation. She held up each one. This is my Bronze Star citation, December 3rd, 2003. I pulled 5 soldiers from a burning Humvee under enemy fire. Bullets hitting the ground around me. I pulled them out one by one. Then I treated their injuries while insurgents were shooting at us. Sophia was crying. Colonel Washington's jaw was tight. This is my Purple Heart certificate, March 8th, 2006. Shrapnel hit my shoulder while I was treating casualties. Damaged the nerves. I still can't lift my left arm above my head. She demonstrated. Her arm stopped at shoulder level. This is my naturalization certificate. April 15th, 2004. I became a citizen while deployed in Iraq, while defending this country. She held it up, hands steady now. So when Richard Thornton called me illegal, when he questioned my right to work here, he was calling a decorated combat veteran illegal. When Karen Mitchell told me to let it go, she was telling me that donor money matters more than my dignity. The room erupted, Karen trying to defend herself, Robert Hayes blustering. Maya raised her hand. Silence fell. I'm going to give you a choice. You can fight this lawsuit. We go to trial. Every bit of this hospital's discriminatory culture gets exposed in public. Media coverage. Veteran organizations protesting. You lose in court and in public opinion. She paused. Or you can settle. Policy changes. Training. Oversight. Accountability. A fund for minority staff. Apologies. She looked at Robert Hayes. And you fire Karen Mitchell and anyone else who enabled this. Karen gasped. Maya, please. You told me not to make waves. Maya's voice was ice. I'm making a tsunami. Marcus slid papers across the table. Settlement terms are in this document. You have 48 hours to respond. If we don't hear from you, we go to trial. Robert Hayes stared at the papers. His hands shook. I need to consult with our legal team. You do that, Marcus said. Meanwhile, Mr. Thornton will be served with criminal charges today, and Ms. Rodriguez has filed for a restraining order. He's banned from this hospital. Robert Hayes stood, looked at Maya. Ms. Rodriguez, I didn't know. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You didn't listen when we told you. You only care now because it became a legal problem. He left. Karen followed. When the door closed, the room exhaled. Colonel Washington hugged Maya. You did good, Sergeant. Dr. Chen shook her hand. Thank you for your courage. Marcus grinned. They're going to settle. I guarantee it. Sophia held her mother tight. I'm so proud of you. Maya let herself cry. Not tears of pain, tears of relief. Freedom. She'd done it. She'd stopped being quiet. She'd fought back. And she'd won. The battle wasn't over. There would be more fights, more meetings, more negotiations. But the hardest part was done. She'd found her voice again, and she was never going to lose it. The victory lasted exactly 43 minutes. At 8:47 a.m., when they finally left the conference room, Maya felt it. The crash, like someone had cut the strings holding her up. Her legs nearly gave out. Sophia caught her arm. Mom, I need to sit. They found chairs in the hallway. Maya sat, put her head in her hands. The shaking started, worse than before, her whole body trembling like she'd been holding back an earthquake, and now it was breaking through. Mom, you were incredible in there. Maya looked up at her daughter. I just ended my career. You know that, right? Mom, I stood in front of hospital administration and declared war. They're going to destroy me. Raphael crouched down. They can't destroy you. You have witnesses, evidence, a lawyer. You don't understand. Maya's voice cracked. In there, I felt strong. Out here, I feel like I just jumped off a cliff and I'm still falling. Colonel Washington came out of the conference room, saw Maya shaking, sat down next to her. Adrenaline crash, he said. Happens after combat, too. You hold it together during the fight. Afterward, your body remembers it was terrified. I can't stop shaking. You don't have to. Just breathe. You did the hard part. The rest is just clean up. Marcus came out last, phone already to his ear. Yeah, I need you to file immediately. Federal court, discrimination, hostile work environment, assault, retaliation, all of it. Pause. No, today. Right now. He hung up. Looked at Maya. How you feeling? Terrified. Good. Marcus sat down. That means you understand what you just started. The next few days are going to be rough. They'll try to discredit you, spread rumors, make your life hell. Can you handle that? Maya wanted to say yes, wanted to be the warrior she'd been in that conference room, but the truth came out instead. I don't know. Marcus nodded. Honest answer. I respect that. He leaned forward. But here's what I know. You're a combat veteran. You've handled worse than office politics. Have I? Maya looked at him. In combat, you know who the enemy is. You know the rules. This is different. They'll smile to my face and stab me in the back. They'll tell everyone I'm lying. I'm crazy. I'm just playing victim. Let them, Marcus interrupted. Let them say whatever they want, because we have evidence. We have witnesses. We have documentation. And most importantly, we have the truth. Dr. Chen came out. Maya, I need to tell you something. Maya looked up. What? I just quit. The hallway went silent. What? Maya breathed. I submitted my resignation, effective immediately. Dr. Chen's voice was steady, calm. I can't work for an institution that enabled this. And as a former employee with no conflict of interest, my testimony against them becomes even stronger. Dr. Chen, you didn't have to sacrifice your job. It's not a sacrifice. Dr. Chen smiled. It's a choice. You gave me permission to make it. They left together, all of them, walking out of Charleston VA hospital like soldiers leaving a battlefield. But Maya didn't feel victorious. She felt like she'd just set her entire life on fire, and now she had to watch it burn. Friday morning arrived too fast. Settlement signing day. Maya stood in her closet at 7 a.m., staring at her clothes. What do you wear to the day your life changes forever? Not her uniform. She'd worn it to war. This was different. She chose a simple dress, navy blue, professional, the dress of a woman who knew her worth. Raphael was already in the kitchen making coffee. He looked tired. He'd been on administrative leave for a week now, no income, bills piling up. You ready for this? He asked. No. Good answer. They drove to Marcus's office in silence. Sophia met them there. She'd driven in from Columbia, skipping Friday classes again. I'm not missing this, she said on the phone the night before. This is history, Mom. Your history. Marcus's conference room was packed. All 6 plaintiffs, Keisha, Dr. Santos, Carlos, Maria, Two others Maya barely knew, but who joined after seeing the news coverage. The hospital's legal team arrived at 9 a.m. sharp, same 3 lawyers in expensive suits. They looked exhausted, beaten. Marcus laid out the settlement documents, thick stack of papers, legal language that might as well have been another language. Before we sign, Marcus said, I want everyone to understand what they're agreeing to. $4.2 million total. Ms. Rodriguez gets the largest share as the primary plaintiff. The rest is divided among the others based on length of employment and severity of discrimination experienced. He turned to Maya. You're getting $1.8 million after legal fees and taxes. The number hit her like a physical blow. $1.8 million more money than her mother had made in her entire life cleaning houses. The hospital agrees to implement comprehensive policy changes, mandatory anti-discrimination training every 6 months, creation of a diversity officer position, independent oversight committee with community representation, and a $2.6 million fund for minority staff development and scholarships. What about the people who did this to us? Keisha asked. What happens to them? Marcus smiled. Karen Mitchell has been terminated. So has the HR director and 2 other supervisors. Robert Hayes keeps his job but reports to the new oversight committee, and Richard Thornton has been permanently banned from all VA facilities nationwide. Maya felt something loosen in her chest. Accountability. Real accountability. Any questions before we sign? Maria raised her hand. Do we have to stay quiet? I saw something about NDAs. No NDAs, Marcus said firmly. That was non-negotiable. You can talk about your experiences whenever and however you want. The hospital can't silence you. They signed, one by one, 6 signatures that would change everything. When Maya signed her name, her hand shook. But she did it, put the pen to paper, and ended one chapter of her life. Marcus shook her hand. Congratulations, you just won. But Maya didn't feel like she won anything. She felt like she'd survived. That was different. The hospital's lawyers left quickly. No eye contact. No congratulations. Just gone. After they left, the 6 plaintiffs looked at each other. Strangers, bound together by shared trauma and shared victory. Keisha spoke first. So what now? Now, Marcus said, the hospital releases a public statement, probably this afternoon, and then it's going to get loud. He was right. The hospital statement went out at 3 p.m. Charleston VA Hospital has reached a settlement agreement with former employees regarding allegations of workplace discrimination. We deeply regret the experiences of these staff members and are committed to creating a more inclusive workplace. We have implemented comprehensive policy changes and look forward to serving our veterans with the respect and dignity they deserve. Carefully worded. No admission of wrongdoing. No apology to Maya specifically. Just corporate speak designed to make the problem go away. But the media wasn't letting it go away. Maya's phone started ringing at 3:15. News stations, newspapers, bloggers. Everyone wanted a statement. She ignored them all, turned off her phone, sat in her living room with Raphael and Sophia and tried to process what had just happened. We're millionaires, Sophia said quietly. This is insane. We're not millionaires, Maya said. I am, and I don't know what to do with it. You could retire, Raphael suggested. Never work another day. I'm 48 years old. I can't just stop working. Why not? Because then what was the point? I fought this battle so I could sit at home and do nothing? Sophia looked at her mother. What do you want to do? Maya didn't have an answer. That night, the hate started. Her email inbox flooded. Anonymous messages. Hundreds of them. You're just playing victim for a payday. Go back to your country. You ruined a good man's reputation over nothing. Hope you choke on that money. Maya made the mistake of checking social media. The hospital had supporters. A lot of them. People defending Richard Thornton, saying he was elderly and confused, saying Maya was exaggerating. Someone had created a Facebook group. Support Richard Thornton. It had 3,000 members. Raphael found her crying in the bathroom at midnight. I shouldn't have looked, she said. No, you shouldn't have. They hate me. Thousands of people hate me. Thousands of people you'll never meet. Who don't know you? Who don't matter? But what if they're right? What if I did ruin an old man's life over one bad moment? Raphael grabbed her shoulders, made her look at him. He spit on you. He called you illegal. He treated you like garbage. That's not one bad moment. That's who he is. And you made him face consequences for the first time in his life. Maya wanted to believe him, but the hate was so loud. Saturday morning, a car pulled up in front of their house. Maya watched through the window. A woman got out. Older, maybe 65, carrying a sign. The sign said, "Maya Rodriguez is a hero." The woman stood on the sidewalk, just stood there, holding her sign. 10 minutes later, another car arrived. Another person with a sign. Then another. Then another. By noon, there were 40 people standing outside Maya's house. Veterans in uniform, immigrants holding flags, healthcare workers in scrubs, all holding signs. We stand with Maya. No more silence. Discrimination is not acceptable. Thank you for your service. Maya opened the front door, stepped outside. The crowd started clapping. Not loud, just steady, sustained applause. An older veteran approached. He was wearing his Army uniform, medals covering his chest. "Sergeant Rodriguez, I'm Master Sergeant James Butler, served in Vietnam. I just wanted to say thank you for standing up, for showing people that even veterans can be treated like garbage if they look different or sound different. Thank you." Maya's throat tightened. "I didn't do anything special." "Yeah, you did. You fought back. Most people don't." One by one, people came up, thanked her, told her their stories of discrimination, of being silenced, of feeling like they didn't matter. A young Latina woman, maybe 25. "My boss makes jokes about building the wall every day. I laugh because I'm scared to complain. But after seeing what you did, I filed a complaint yesterday. HR is investigating." An older Asian man. "I've been a doctor for 30 years. Patients still ask if I speak English, still question my credentials. I thought I had to just accept it, but you showed me I don't." By evening, the crowd had grown to over 100 people. Someone brought food. Someone else brought speakers and a microphone. They asked Maya to speak. She didn't want to, didn't feel like she had anything important to say. But Sophia pushed her forward. "Mom, they came here for you. Say something." Maya took the microphone, looked at all these faces, strangers who weren't strangers because they understood. "I don't have a speech prepared," she started. Her voice shook. "I'm not good at speeches, but I want to say thank you for coming here, for standing with me, for believing me." Someone shouted, "We believe you." When I filed that complaint, when I walked into that conference room, I thought I was alone. I thought I was crazy for making such a big deal out of being spit on. But then other people started speaking up, and I realized I wasn't alone. None of us are alone. We're everywhere. We're the people who get questioned and doubted and told we don't belong. But we do belong. We belong because we're human. That's enough. The crowd erupted, cheering, clapping. Maya handed back the microphone and went inside before she started crying in front of everyone. Monday morning, Maya got a call from an unknown number. "Ms. Rodriguez, this is Judge Patricia Morrison from Charleston County Criminal Court." Maya's stomach dropped. "Yes?" "I'm calling about the criminal case against Richard Thornton, the assault charge. His attorney has requested a meeting. Mr. Thornton wants to speak with you." "Why?" "He says he wants to apologize. In person." Every instinct told Maya to say no. She didn't want to see his face. Didn't want to hear his voice. Didn't want anything to do with the man who spit on her. But another part of her needed to know. Needed to hear if he was actually sorry or if this was just a legal strategy. "When?" she asked. "Tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the courthouse. Your attorney can be present." Maya called Marcus immediately. "Don't do it," he said. "It's a trap. He's trying to get you to say something he can use against you." "What if he really wants to apologize?" "He doesn't. This is his lawyer's strategy. They want to show the judge he's remorseful so he gets a lighter sentence." "I want to hear what he has to say." "Maya, I need to. I need to look him in the eye and hear him try to justify what he did." Marcus sighed. "Fine, but I'm coming with you, and you don't say anything except what we prepare. Understood?" Tuesday at 2 p.m., Maya walked into the Charleston County Courthouse, Marcus at her side. Her hands were shaking, but she kept them in her pockets. They were led to a small conference room. Richard Thornton was already there. His attorney sat next to him. Richard looked smaller than Maya remembered. Older. tired. When he saw Maya, he stood up. "Ms. Rodriguez, thank you for coming." Maya didn't respond, just sat down across from him. Richard's attorney spoke first. "Mr. Thornton has asked for this meeting to express his sincere remorse for his actions. He understands the gravity of what he did and wants to apologize directly." Marcus cut in. "Save the performance for the judge. Say what you want to say." Richard looked at Maya, really looked at her. "I was drunk and angry, and I took it out on you. That was wrong. I'm sorry." Maya stared at him. "You called me illegal." "I know. You asked if I crawled across the border." "I know. You spit on me while I was trying to help you." Richard's jaw tightened. "I know. And I'm sorry. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught?" Silence. "Because I think," Maya continued, her voice cold, "you're sorry there were consequences. You're sorry the hospital settled. You're sorry your name got in the papers. But you're not actually sorry you spit on me. You're sorry it mattered." Richard's attorney interrupted. "Ms. Rodriguez, my client is trying to make amends." "I don't want his amends," Maya said. "I want him to understand something." She leaned forward, looked Richard in the eye. "I came to this country when I was 8 years old. I learned English. I went to school. I joined the army because I wanted to serve. I went to Iraq twice. I pulled soldiers from burning vehicles. I got wounded. I earned my citizenship by bleeding for this country. And you thought you could spit on me because of how I look and how I sound." Richard looked down at the table. "So no," Maya said, standing up. "I don't accept your apology, because you're not sorry. You're just scared of going to jail." She walked out. Marcus followed. In the hallway, Marcus was grinning. "That was beautiful." "I shouldn't have said all that." "Are you kidding? The judge is going to love it. Shows you're not vindictive. Shows he's full of it. That was perfect." 2 weeks later, Richard Thornton was sentenced. 100 hours of community service, mandatory anger management classes, 2 years probation, and a permanent ban from all VA facilities nationwide. It wasn't enough, but it was something. The real change was happening at the hospital. The new diversity officer, a black woman named Dr. Patricia Williams, started immediately. She conducted interviews with over 200 staff members, found patterns of discrimination even worse than Maya had experienced. 4 more supervisors were fired. The entire HR department was restructured. Mandatory training became monthly, not just every 6 months. Dr. Williams called Maya in early November. "I wanted to thank you," she said. "You created my job. You made this possible. I just filed a complaint. You did more than that. You showed the hospital they couldn't ignore this anymore, and now I have the authority to make real changes. That's because of you." Maya didn't know what to say. "There's something else," Dr. Williams continued. "We're creating a scholarship fund for minority nursing students. We want to name it after you, the Sergeant Maya Rodriguez Nursing Scholarship. Would that be okay?" Maya's vision blurred. Yes, that would be more than okay. By December, Maya still hadn't gone back to work. She couldn't. Not at that hospital. Not after everything. But she couldn't just sit at home either. Sophia came home for winter break. Found her mother sitting at the kitchen table, staring at her laptop. "What are you looking at?" "Job listings." "You don't need a job, Mom. You have money now." "I need purpose." Maya looked at her daughter. "I can't just do nothing. That's not who I am." "So what do you want to do?" Maya had been thinking about this for weeks. About Elena, the housekeeper who'd called to thank her. About Keisha and Dr. Santos and Carlos. About all the people who told her she'd given them courage. "I want to help people," Maya said. "People like me, immigrants in healthcare who face discrimination. I want to help them fight back." "Like a nonprofit?" "Maybe. I don't know. I just know I can't waste this. I fought for something. Now I need to use it." Sophia sat down. "Then let's figure it out. What would this organization do?" They talked for hours. Maya, Sophia, Raphael, brainstorming, planning, dreaming. By January, Maya had filed paperwork for a nonprofit. No More Silence Coalition. Support for immigrant healthcare workers facing discrimination. The mission: provide legal resources, connect people with attorneys, help them navigate the complaint process, offer emotional support. Marcus Johnson agreed to serve on the board of directors. So did Colonel Washington. So did Dr. Chin. By February, they'd helped their first case. A Filipino nurse in Colombia experiencing harassment from her supervisor. They connected her with an attorney, helped her file a complaint, HR investigated. The supervisor was fired. By March, they'd helped 12 cases. By April, they were getting calls from across the state. Maya's life had changed completely. She wasn't a nurse anymore. She was an advocate, a fighter, a voice for people who'd been told to stay quiet. 1 year after Richard Thornton spit on her, Maya stood on a stage at the South Carolina State House. She was giving a speech to support new anti-discrimination legislation. Looking out at the crowd, she saw faces of every color. Immigrants, veterans, healthcare workers, people who believed that everyone deserved dignity. 1 year ago, Maya said into the microphone, I was spit on at work, and I had a choice. Stay quiet or speak up. I chose to speak up, and that choice changed my life. The crowd applauded, but it also changed other people's lives. It gave them permission to speak up too, to stop accepting discrimination, to demand better. That's what happens when one person stops being silent. It creates permission for others to do the same. She paused, looked at Sophia in the front row, at Raphael, at Colonel Washington, at Dr. Chin, at Marcus. So, if you're facing discrimination right now, if you're being treated as less than you are, I want you to know you don't have to accept it. You don't have to stay quiet. You can fight back, and you can win. The applause was deafening. After the speech, people lined up to talk to her, to thank her, to ask for help. And Maya realized something. This was what victory felt like. Not the settlement money, not the policy changes, not even seeing Karen Mitchell fired. Victory was seeing other people find their courage. Victory was knowing she'd made it possible for them to fight back. Victory was turning her pain into purpose. That night, Maya sat in her living room with Raphael. Sophia had gone back to law school. The house was quiet. You happy? Raphael asked. Maya thought about it. Was she happy? She'd lost her career, been called every name imaginable, had her face all over the news, still got hate mail regularly, but she'd also created something meaningful, helped dozens of people, changed policies at a major hospital, given voice to people who'd been silent. I'm not happy, Maya said finally, but I'm proud, and that's better. Raphael kissed her forehead. You should be. Maya looked at the photo on the wall, her in her army uniform, young, idealistic, believing that serving would earn her respect. She knew better now. Respect wasn't earned. It was owed to every human being, regardless of where they came from or what they looked like. She learned that the hard way, but she learned it. And now she was teaching it to others. That was enough. That was everything. But enough didn't last long. 2 weeks after Maya's speech at the State House, she got a call that changed everything again. Ms. Rodriguez, this is Admiral Patricia Chin from the Department of Veterans Affairs in Washington. Maya's heart stopped. Yes? I've been following your case, your nonprofit, the work you're doing. I want to discuss something with you. Can you come to D.C.? What for? I'd rather discuss it in person. All expenses paid. Tomorrow if possible. Maya looked at Raphael. He nodded. I'll be there. She flew to D.C. that night. No time to prepare. No time to think. Just get on a plane and go. Admiral Chin met her at VA headquarters the next morning. 60 years old, Chinese American, uniform covered in medals. Thank you for coming on such short notice. What's this about? Admiral Chin didn't waste time. I want you to lead a national task force on discrimination in VA facilities. Report directly to me. Full authority to investigate complaints, recommend policy changes, implement training programs nationwide. Maya felt the room spin. What? Your case exposed systemic problems, not just in Charleston, everywhere. We've had complaints from dozens of VA facilities across the country. Staff being discriminated against, veterans being discriminated against, and nobody doing anything about it because the culture protects the institution over the people. I'm not qualified? You're a decorated combat veteran. You've experienced discrimination firsthand. You've built a successful nonprofit in less than a year. You've created real change. You're exactly who we need. What would this mean? Salary of $175,000 a year. Federal benefits. Office in D.C. Travel nationwide. 3-year appointment initially. Renewable if successful. Maya couldn't breathe. $175,000? Is that acceptable? It was more than double what she'd made as a nurse, more than she'd ever dreamed of making. I need to think about it. Take 24 hours. But Ms. Rodriguez, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change the entire VA system, to help thousands of people. Don't let fear stop you. Maya flew home that afternoon, couldn't focus on anything, her mind spinning. Raphael picked her up from the airport. What happened? She told him everything. The offer, the salary, the opportunity. So what did you say? I said I'd think about it. What's there to think about? Everything. We'd have to move to D.C. You'd have to find a new job. Sophia's in school here. Our whole life is here. Our life is wherever we decide to build it, Raphael said. This is huge, Maya. This is everything you've been fighting for. It's also terrifying. That night, Maya called Colonel Washington. A national task force, he said when she told him. That's a big deal. Too big. I can't do this. Why not? Because I'm just a nurse. I'm not qualified to lead a national anything. You pulled 5 soldiers from a burning Humvee. You stood up to an entire hospital system. You built a nonprofit from nothing. And you think you're not qualified? That's different. It's exactly the same. You saw something wrong and you fixed it. Now they're asking you to do that on a bigger scale. What if I fail? Then you fail. But at least you tried. Maya, how many people get this chance? To change an entire system? To help thousands of veterans and staff? This is your calling. After she hung up, Maya sat in the dark, thinking. She thought about the 8-year-old girl who came to America with nothing but hope. The 18-year-old who joined the army to prove she belonged. The medic who saved lives in Iraq. And the nurse who got spit on and decided to fight back. And now this, a chance to change everything for everyone. She called Admiral Chen at 6 a.m. I'll do it. Excellent. Can you start in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. To pack up her life, move to D.C., start over. Again. Yes, Maya said. I can start in 2 weeks. The next 13 days were chaos. Packing, selling the house, finding an apartment in D.C., Raphael applying for jobs, Sophia crying because her parents were leaving. You'll still be in school here, Maya told her. You can visit. We'll visit. It won't be the same. No, it won't. But sometimes things have to change so they can get better. On moving day, Maya stood in her empty house, the house where she lived when Richard Thornton spit on her, where she made those phone calls at 3 a.m., where she built her nonprofit in her living room. So much history in these walls. Raphael put his arm around her. Ready? No, but let's go anyway. They drove to D.C., started their new life. Maya's first day at VA headquarters was overwhelming. Her office, her staff, her authority, all of it felt surreal. Admiral Chen briefed her immediately. We have 43 active discrimination complaints across 28 VA facilities. Some are years old. Some are ongoing. Your job is to investigate, mediate, and implement solutions. Where do I start? With the worst ones, the cases that could become lawsuits if we don't act. Maya spent her first week reading files, case after case of discrimination, racial slurs, sexual harassment, retaliation, and nobody doing anything about it because that's how it's always been. It was worse than she'd imagined. On Friday of her first week, she got a call from a VA facility in Texas. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm calling about a situation here. We have a Filipino nurse who's filed multiple complaints about a doctor using racial slurs. The complaints keep getting dismissed. She's threatening to go to the media. Good, Maya said. She should. Silence on the other end. What? If you're not addressing her complaints, she should go to the media. That's how change happens. But we need you to come down here, mediate, keep this quiet. I'm not here to keep things quiet. I'm here to fix them. Send me all the documentation. I'll review it. If the complaints are legitimate, the doctor gets disciplined or fired. If they're not, we'll investigate why she filed them. Either way, we're not sweeping this under the rug. She hung up. Her assistant, a young woman named Jennifer, stared at her. That was bold. That's the job. If they wanted someone who'd protect the system, they hired the wrong person. Word spread fast. Maya Rodriguez wasn't playing. She wasn't protecting reputations. She was protecting people. Within a month, she'd forced 3 VA facilities to fire staff members for discrimination. 2 more facilities implemented immediate policy changes to avoid federal investigation. The pushback was immediate and brutal. Anonymous emails calling her too aggressive. Complaints to Admiral Chen that Maya was creating problems where none existed. A veterans group posting online that Maya was destroying VA morale with witch hunts. Admiral Chen called her in. "You're making waves. That's what you hired me to do. I hired you to create change, not to burn the whole system down." Maya felt her chest tighten. "Are you firing me?" "No, but I'm asking you to be strategic. You can't fix everything in your first month. Pick your battles. Every case is a battle worth fighting." "I agree, but if you fight them all at once, you'll lose, because the system will push back harder than you can push. You need allies. You need support. You need to build coalescent ions before you can force change." Maya went home that night feeling defeated. Was she doing this wrong? Moving too fast? Being too aggressive? Raphael found her sitting on their balcony staring at nothing. "Rough day?" "They're telling me to slow down." "Maybe you should." Maya looked at him. "You think I'm going too fast?" "I think you're trying to fix in 1 month what took decades to break. That's impossible. But people are suffering now. Not in 6 months, not in a year. Now. I know. But if you burn out, if you lose your job, if you push so hard they fire you, then who helps them? Nobody. So maybe slowing down isn't about giving up. It's about sustainability." He was right. She hated that he was right. The next week, Maya changed tactics. Instead of forcing immediate action, she started building relationships, meeting with VA facility directors, listening to their concerns, understanding their constraints. It was slower, frustrating, but more effective. By month 3, she'd built a coalition of progressive VA directors who wanted change. They started sharing best practices, implementing training programs voluntarily, creating accountability systems. By month 6, discrimination complaints at VA facilities had dropped by 32%. Real change, measurable change. But then came the case that tested everything. A black veteran in Atlanta filed a complaint. He'd been denied treatment at a VA hospital. The staff had assumed he was homeless and kicked him out. He was a decorated Marine, 28 years of service. His name was Sergeant Major Marcus Thompson. Maya flew to Atlanta immediately, met with him at a coffee shop. "Thank you for coming," he said. "I didn't think anyone would care." "Tell me what happened," Marcus told her. He'd gone to the VA for a routine appointment, wearing civilian clothes, jeans and a t-shirt. Nothing fancy. The receptionist had taken one look at him and said, "We don't provide services to homeless people. There's a shelter down the street." Marcus had tried to explain he was a veteran, showed his ID card, but the receptionist had already called security. They'd escorted him out, told him not to come back unless he cleaned himself up. "I served this country for 28 years, Marcus said, his voice shaking. "I fought in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, and they threw me out like garbage because I'm black, and I wasn't wearing a suit." Maya felt rage building, the same rage she'd felt when Richard Thornton spit on her. "Give me 48 hours, she said. "I'm fixing this." She went to the Atlanta VA facility, demanded to speak to the director. The director, a white man named Robert Harrison, was defensive immediately. That was a misunderstanding. The receptionist made an error in judgment. An error in judgment? She racially profiled a decorated veteran and had him thrown out. "I don't think it was about race." "Then what was it about? His clothes? His appearance? Why did she assume he was homeless?" Robert hesitated. "She said he looked unkempt." "Unkempt? That's the word we're using now?" Maya leaned forward. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to Sergeant Major Thompson personally. You're going to fire that receptionist. You're going to implement mandatory training on implicit bias. And you're going to post a public statement admitting what happened and committing to do better. I can't fire someone over one incident. You can and you will. Because if you don't, I'll recommend this facility lose federal funding. Is that clear?" Robert's face went red. "You don't have that authority. Want to test me?" They stared at each other. Finally, Robert looked away. "Fine, I'll do it." Within a week, the receptionist was fired. The facility issued a public apology. Sergeant Major Thompson got a formal apology letter from the director, but the story went viral. A black veteran thrown out of a VA hospital. National news picked it up. And suddenly, Maya was in the spotlight again. Interview requests, news appearances, people wanting her to comment. She said yes to one interview, a national morning show. The host asked, "Why do you think this keeps happening? Veterans being discriminated against at the very facilities designed to help them?" Maya didn't hesitate, because we've built a system that values compliance over compassion, that protects institutions over individuals, that tells people to stay quiet instead of speaking up. And until we fundamentally change that culture, until we prioritize people over procedures, this will keep happening. What's the solution? Accountability, training, oversight. But most importantly, we need to believe people when they tell us they've been discriminated against. We need to stop making excuses, stop protecting bad actors, start protecting the people we're supposed to serve. The interview clip went viral, millions of views, thousands of comments, most supportive, some hateful, but all of it loud. Admiral Chan called her that afternoon. "That was quite an interview. Did I say something wrong?" "No, you said everything right, but you've made yourself a target. The people who don't want change, they're coming for you now." She was right. Within days, a conservative news outlet published a hit piece. VA task force leader has radical agenda, wants to fire staff based on unproven complaints. Another outlet, Maya Rodriguez, immigration activist or VA reformer. The attacks got personal. Questions about her citizenship, her military record, her qualifications. Maya wanted to respond, wanted to defend herself. Marcus Johnson, her old attorney, called. "Don't engage. They want you to fight back so they can paint you as angry and unreasonable. Stay focused on the work." But it was hard. So hard. Then Sophia called. "Mom, I saw what they're saying about you. Are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You don't sound fine." Maya took a breath. "They're attacking me because I'm effective, because I'm making change they don't like. So I must be doing something right. That's my mom, the fighter. I learned from the best. Who? You. You taught me to keep going even when it's hard." Sophia laughed. "Pretty sure you taught me that, Mom." Then we taught each other. By the end of Maya's first year, she'd helped resolve 83 discrimination cases, trained over 12,000 VA staff, implemented new policies at 40 VA facilities. The statistics were undeniable. Discrimination complaints down 41%, staff satisfaction up 28%, veteran satisfaction up 19%. Real numbers, real change. Admiral Chin called her in for her annual review. "You've exceeded every expectation," she said. "The Secretary of Veterans Affairs wants to extend your appointment for 5 years and double your budget." Maya couldn't speak. "You've done in 1 year what I thought would take 5. You've changed the culture, made it safe for people to speak up, created accountability. This is exactly what we needed." "I just did my job." "No, you did so much more than that." That night, Maya called her mother in the Dominican Republic. "Mommy, I have news." "What is it, mija?" "They're extending my contract. 5 more years, leading this task force." Her mother was quiet for a long moment. Then she started crying. "Mommy, why are you crying?" "Because I'm proud. So proud. When we came to America, you were just a little girl. I wanted to give you opportunities, but I never imagined this. Never imagined you'd be leading anything, changing a whole system. Mija, you did it. You made it." Maya felt tears on her own cheeks. "We did it, Mammy. You brought me here. You gave me the chance." "No, mija. I gave you the opportunity. You did everything else." After they hung up, Maya sat on her balcony, looking out at D.C., at the life she'd built, the work she'd created, the change she'd made. 1 year ago, she'd been standing in a hospital hallway with spit on her uniform, terrified to fight back. Now she was leading a national movement, proving that one person speaking up could change everything. She thought about all the people she'd helped. 83 cases resolved. 83 people who'd been discriminated against and now had justice. She thought about the thousands more who'd been trained, who now understood that discrimination wasn't acceptable, who'd learned to do better. She thought about Sergeant Major Marcus Thompson, about how his case had gone viral and forced conversations about race and veterans and dignity. All of it connected. All of it mattered. Raphael came out to the balcony, put his arms around her. You thinking about everything? Everything and nothing. You happy now? Maya thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, she said finally. I think I am. Good. You deserve it. We deserve it. All of us who fought. She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, people were facing discrimination, being told to stay quiet, wondering if speaking up was worth it. She wanted them to know it was worth it. Every tear, every sleepless night, every attack, every moment of doubt, worth it. Because change was possible. Justice was possible. Dignity was possible. You just had to be brave enough to demand it. But happiness never lasts as long as you want it to. 3 weeks later, Maya got a call that shattered everything. Ms. Rodriguez, this is Dr. Mitchell from Charleston Memorial Hospital. I'm calling about your mother. Maya's heart stopped. What happened? She collapsed at the airport. She's in critical condition. We need you here immediately. I'm in D.C. I can be there in 4 hours. Ms. Rodriguez, you need to understand. Your mother had a massive stroke. The next 24 hours are critical. Maya hung up, grabbed her keys. Raphael was already calling the airport. They made it to Charleston in 3 hours. Maya ran into the ICU. Her mother was unconscious. Tubes everywhere. Machines beeping. She looked so small in that hospital bed. A doctor approached. Ms. Rodriguez, how bad is it? The stroke affected the left side of her brain. Significant damage. Even if she survives, she'll need extensive rehabilitation. Months, possibly years. Will she wake up? We don't know. The next 48 hours will tell us. Maya sat by her mother's bedside, held her hand. This hand that had cleaned houses for 40 years, that had worked so hard to give Maya a better life. Mommy, I'm here. You can't leave yet. Not yet. Her mother didn't respond. Just the steady beep of machines. Sophia arrived that evening, saw her grandmother, and started crying. Abuela, please wake up. They took turns sitting with her. Maya, Raphael, Sophia. None of them sleeping, all of them praying. On the third day, Maya's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Work emergencies. Cases that needed her attention. Admiral Chen calling to check in. Maya ignored them all. On the fourth day, her mother's eyes opened. Mommy! Her mother looked at her, tried to speak, but the words came out slurred, incomprehensible. The doctor explained. The stroke damaged her speech center. She understands you, but she can't form words properly. This may improve with therapy. Her mother started crying, frustrated tears, trying to speak, but only sounds coming out. It's okay, Mommy. We'll work on it. You're alive. That's what matters. But Maya could see the devastation in her mother's eyes. A woman who'd always been independent, strong, capable, now unable to speak, unable to care for herself. Over the next week, the doctors laid out the reality. Her mother would need round-the-clock care. Physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. She can't be alone, the doctor said. She'll need family support, constant supervision. Maya looked at Raphael, at Sophia. They all knew what this meant. Someone had to take care of her. And that someone was Maya. Admiral Chen called on day 9. Maya, I'm so sorry about your mother. Take all the time you need. How long is all the time? What do you mean? My mother needs long-term care. Months, maybe years. I can't do my job from Charleston. Silence. Then, are you saying you're resigning? Maya felt her world cracking. I don't know. I need time to figure this out. I understand. But Maya, we need you. The work you're doing, it's irreplaceable. My mother is irreplaceable. After she hung up, Maya sat in the hospital cafeteria and put her head in her hands. Everything she'd built, everything she'd fought for, all of it at risk because life had thrown another curve. Sophia found her there. Mom, what are you going to do? I don't know. You can't give up your job, not after everything. I can't abandon my mother either. So what's the answer? Maya looked at her daughter. There isn't one. Sometimes there's no good choice, just less bad ones. That night, Maya sat by her mother's bedside. Her mother was awake, watching TV she couldn't fully understand because she couldn't process the words fast enough. Mommy, I need to talk to you about something. Her mother looked at her, alert, listening. My job is in D.C., but you need care here. I can't be in both places. Her mother's eyes widened. She tried to speak. No, you work. I can't leave you alone. Her mother grabbed Maya's hand, squeezed hard, shook her head violently. You go, she managed. Your work. Important. You're more important. Her mother's eyes filled with tears. She pointed at Maya, then at the door. Go. Mommy, you help people. Her words were slow, painful, but clear enough. Proud. Go. Maya broke down. I can't leave you. Her mother pulled Maya's hand to her chest, over her heart. You, here, always. They cried together, mother and daughter, both knowing what had to happen, but neither wanting to say it. The next morning, Maya made calls, found a live-in caregiver, a woman named Rosa, 50 years old, experienced with stroke patients. She found a rehabilitation facility, the best in Charleston. Physical therapy 5 days a week. Speech therapy 3 days a week. She set up everything her mother would need. Medical equipment, transportation, emergency contacts. And then she called Admiral Chen. I'm coming back, but I need flexibility. I need to be able to come to Charleston when necessary. Of course, whatever you need. And I need to work remotely 2 days a week. Done. Thank you. Maya spent 2 more weeks in Charleston, getting her mother settled, making sure Rosa knew everything, training Sophia on emergency procedures. The day she left, her mother cried, but she also smiled, pointed at Maya's phone, at the work waiting for her. Proud, she said clearly. 1 word, but it was enough. Maya flew back to D.C. with a hole in her chest, but also with purpose renewed. Her mother had sacrificed everything to give Maya opportunities. Now Maya was honoring that sacrifice by not wasting the opportunity. She threw herself back into work, harder than before, faster than before. Within 2 months, she'd resolved 15 more discrimination cases, implemented new policies at 12 facilities. But she was also flying to Charleston every other weekend, checking on her mother, making sure she was progressing. Her mother was improving. Slowly. Her speech was getting better. Her mobility was improving. You're doing great, Mommy. Her mother smiled. You, too. 6 months after the stroke, Maya got a call that changed everything again. Ms. Rodriguez, this is Senator Elizabeth Warren's office. The senator would like to meet with you. About what? Legislation. She's drafting a bill to expand protections for VA employees and veterans against discrimination. She wants your input. Maya met with Senator Warren the following week. They talked for 2 hours about Maya's work, about the cases she'd resolved, about systemic problems in the VA. What we need, Senator Warren said, is legislation with teeth, real consequences for discrimination, not just policies that facilities can ignore. I agree. Would you be willing to testify before Congress? Share your story? Help us make the case for this legislation? Maya's stomach dropped. Testify before Congress? Yes, your story is powerful. A decorated veteran who experienced discrimination, fought back, and now leads national reform efforts. Congress needs to hear from you. Maya thought about Richard Thornton, about the spit, about Karen Mitchell telling her not to make waves, about how far she'd come since then. Yes, she said, I'll testify. The hearing was scheduled for 2 months later. Maya spent those 2 months preparing, writing her testimony, practicing with attorneys, getting ready to face senators and cameras and the entire country watching. The night before the hearing, she couldn't sleep, kept thinking about what she'd say, how she'd say it. Raphael found her at 2 a.m. sitting on the balcony. Can't sleep? What if I mess this up? You won't. What if I freeze? What if I can't find the words? Raphael sat down next to her. Remember when you walked into that conference room at the VA? You were terrified. Your hands were shaking, but you did it anyway. This is the same thing, just bigger cameras. That's not reassuring. He laughed. You're Maya Rodriguez, combat veteran, discrimination fighter, national reformer. You got this. The hearing room was packed, senators at the front, cameras everywhere, press filling the back rows. Maya sat at the witness table, alone, microphone in front of her. Senator Warren began. Ms. Rodriguez, thank you for being here. Can you tell us about the incident that started your journey? Maya took a breath, and she told them, not the sanitized version, not the careful version, the real version. She told them about Richard Thornton spitting on her, about Karen Mitchell telling her to stay quiet, about filing charges and facing retaliation. She told them about the other 6 plaintiffs, about the 47 documented cases of discrimination at one facility alone. She told them about Sergeant Major Marcus Thompson, about being thrown out of a VA hospital because staff made assumptions based on his race. She told them about the 83 cases she resolved in her first year, about the thousands more still waiting. Every day, Maya said, her voice strong, veterans and VA employees face discrimination. And every day, they're told to stay quiet, to not make waves, to accept it because that's just how things are. She paused, looked directly at the senators. But that's not how things have to be. We can do better. We must do better. These are people who served our country, who save lives every day in VA facilities. They deserve dignity. They deserve respect. They deserve justice. What would you recommend? Senator Warren asked. Real consequences. If a VA facility has multiple discrimination complaints and doesn't address them, cut their funding. If supervisors retaliate against employees who file complaints, fire them. Create independent oversight. Give employees and veterans a safe way to report discrimination without fear. Some people say that's too harsh, that it will hurt VA facilities. You know what hurts VA facilities? Maya's voice rose. Discrimination, harassment, creating environments where good employees quit because they can't take it anymore, where veterans avoid getting treatment because they've been mistreated. That's what hurts VA facilities. Accountability helps them. The senators asked more questions. Maya answered everyone, calm, clear, powerful. When it was over, Senator Warren stood up. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Your testimony will be crucial to this legislation passing. Maya walked out of that hearing room and collapsed in the hallway. Not from exhaustion, from relief. She'd done it. She told her story to the entire country, and maybe, just maybe, it would change things. The legislation passed 6 months later, the Veterans and VA Employee Dignity Act. Real protections, real consequences, real change. President signed it into law on a Tuesday afternoon. Maya was there, standing behind him as he signed. She thought about the 8-year-old girl who came to America, the soldier who bled in Iraq, the nurse who got spit on. All of them were here now, in this moment, watching a president sign a law that would protect thousands of people. After the signing, reporters swarmed Maya. How does it feel? It feels like justice. It feels like proof that one person speaking up can change everything. What's next for you? Maya smiled. More work, more cases, more change. We're not done yet. But she was thinking about her mother, about flying to Charleston this weekend, about seeing her mother walk with a cane now, speak in full sentences now, about telling her, look what we did, Mommy. Look how far we came. That weekend, Maya sat with her mother in the rehabilitation facility. I have something to show you. She pulled up the video of the president signing the law, of Maya standing there in the background. Her mother watched, tears streaming down her face. My daughter, she said clearly, changed the world. No, Mommy, you changed the world. You brought me here. You gave me the chance. I just used it. Her mother shook her head. You, brave, always brave. I learned from you. They held hands, mother and daughter, immigrant and daughter of immigrant, both knowing that this moment was everything their journey had been leading to. Maya left Charleston that Sunday evening, flew back to D.C., back to work, back to more cases, more fights, more changes to make. But she was different now. Not the scared nurse who'd been spit on, not the terrified woman who'd filed her first complaint. She was someone who knew her power, who knew her worth, who knew that speaking up wasn't just brave, it was necessary. 2 years after that day in the conference room, Maya stood at a podium giving a keynote speech at the National Veterans Conference. When I started this journey, she said, I thought I was fighting for myself, for my dignity, for my right to be treated as human, but I learned something. When you fight for yourself, you fight for everyone. Every person who's been told to stay quiet. Every person who's been made to feel less than. Every person who deserves better. She looked out at the crowd, thousands of faces, veterans, advocates, people who believed in change. So if you're facing discrimination right now, If someone is treating you as less than you are, I want you to know something. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to stay quiet. You can fight back, and you can win. The crowd stood up, applause thundering through the room. Maya thought about everyone who'd helped her: Colonel Washington, Dr. Chen, Marcus Johnson, Sophia, Raphael, her mother, all of them part of this moment. All of them proof that change doesn't happen alone. It happens together. After the speech, people lined up to talk to her, to thank her, to tell her their stories. A young Latina woman, maybe 23. "I'm in nursing school. I want to be like you." "Don't be like me," Maya said. "Be better than me. Take what I did and build on it. Make more change. Help more people." An older veteran, tears in his eyes. "Thank you for fighting for us. Thank you for serving. You deserve better. We all did." That night, Maya called her mother. "How was your speech?" her mother asked, her words clear now, almost back to normal. "Good. Really good. I'm proud of you, Mia." "I'm proud of you too, Mommy, for everything." "You know what I think about sometimes?" "What?" "That day at the airport, when we first came to America. You were so scared. You held my hand so tight. I remember thinking, I hope I'm giving her a better life. I hope this is worth it." "It was worth it, Mommy." "Yes," her mother said softly. "It was." After they hung up, Maya stood on her balcony one more time, looking out at D.C., at the life she'd built, the change she'd created. She thought about the question people always asked. Was it worth it? Fighting back, facing the hate, losing sleep, risking everything. Was it worth it? And Maya knew the answer. It was worth every second, every tear, every moment of fear, because she'd proven something fundamental. Speaking up matters. Fighting back works. Change is possible. Not easy, not simple, not without cost, but possible. And that was everything. Maya walked inside. Tomorrow, she had 3 new discrimination cases to review. Next week, she was flying to Phoenix for a facility inspection. Next month, she was testifying before Congress again about expanding the legislation. The work never stopped, but neither did she. Because once you find your voice, once you discover your power, once you realize you can change the world, you can't go back to being silent. You can only move forward, louder, stronger, more determined than ever. That's what Maya Rodriguez had learned. That's what she was teaching others. That's what would be her legacy. Not the settlements, not the policy changes, not even the legislation. Her legacy was this. She showed people that one voice could start a movement. One person speaking up could give thousands of others permission to do the same. She stopped being silent, and she taught a generation to roar.